Hi everybody, I'm Sammy, I'm that Jewish nerd, and today I'm going to be doing a Jewish library book review. The book I'm going to be reviewing today is called Jewish in America by Barbara Sheen, and it's part of the Bias in America series. I haven't read the whole series yet, but I'm probably going to. I'm going to start with the Jewish one, being Jewish myself. And I really like this book because I think it definitely encapsulated a lot of what it is to be Jewish in America, not just as an American Jew, but also there were several passages which I definitely felt resonated with me as not just an American Jew, but an American Jew who grew up going to public schools, because there wasn't really much of a Jewish community where I was growing up. I think there's more now, though. So the first passage that I'm going to read to you that resonated with me is entitled Misguided Educators and Heroes. In some cases, teachers, coaches, school administrators, and other educators mistreat Jewish students. These abuses can occur for a number of reasons and may be intentional or unintentional. In some cases, those in authority do not take anti-Semitic behavior seriously. Consequently, they may be slow to respond or may not respond appropriately. Take the 2019 case of a Jewish high school student in New Jersey who was spat on and called a, trigger warning for anti-Semitism, Jew dyke. That's what it says. By a classmate, while a group of other girls looked on and cheered. After the student reported the incident to a school administrator, all the girls, including the victim, were called into the office, but the only person who was reprimanded was the victim. She was accused of being overly sensitive, and the case was closed. Another young Jewish woman reports that while she and her older brother were growing up in Arizona, they were repeatedly bullied and harassed because they were Jews. After months of being pushed around, bombarded by anti-Semitic slurs, and having swastikas drawn on his homework assignments, her brother fought back. He was suspended from school for fighting, but his tormentors were not punished by their actions. Commenting about similar incidents, J.P. Green, a professor of education policy at the University of Arkansas, maintains, "We have trusted public schools far too much to protect us when the evidence suggests that these local governmental institutions are not reliable partners in combating anti-Semitism." I'm going to insert my own experience here and say that my first real experience with anti-Semitism, I was maybe 12, maybe 13, something like that. It was my 7th grade civics class, civics and government and US history and all that other good stuff. And I heard one of the kids behind me talk to a kid that sat next to him. Kid B is, and I quote, a dirty Jew. I don't even know whether or not this kid was actually Jewish, and quite frankly, I don't care. That's not okay. That's disgusting. Here is the second portion of the book that really resonated with me. It's entitled Holiday Pressures. Other actions are less overt but still hostile. These may be attributed to insensitivity or lack of awareness of Jewish culture and traditions on the part of some educators. Although almost all school districts do not hold classes on the Christian holidays of Christmas and Good Friday, most, with the exception of a few ethnically diverse school districts, hold classes on the Jewish high holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Nor do all schools make special accommodations, such as giving Jewish students who observe these holidays a reasonable amount of time to make up missed assignments. In fact, it is not unusual for schools to schedule tests, picture days, mandatory team practices, and important extracurricular activities on the Jewish high holidays. For example, Rachel Hale, a Jewish high school student, reports that her school held its Big Ten college night on the night of Yom Kippur. This puts a lot of pressure on Jewish students not to miss school. As Hale writes, "Having school off on Christmas is a no-brainer, but important Jewish holidays such as Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are barely an afterthought on school boards' minds. For some Jewish students, missing school or important holidays is nothing out of the ordinary. But for others, the stress of missing multiple classes, tests, and extracurricular activities outweighs the importance of services. Some teachers are not understanding of the holiday's religious significance and do not consider the day an excused absence. Why should students have to choose between prayer and planning for college? Why should they have to choose between going to after-school activities and attending services? School, as important as it may be, should never impose upon our right to pray and our right to a substantial Jewish faith." Way number 2, that last passage definitely resonated with me because I remember a few times in high school when I ended up having to miss a choir concert in order to attend for Jewish holidays. It was either a Jewish holiday, a major Jewish holiday, or one of the regular Friday night services. And I didn't really have much of a voice at the time, or at the very least, I didn't know that I had a voice. It was more that it didn't sit right with me, and when I told my grandmother about it, God love that woman. Grandma, if you're watching, I freaking love you. She raised hell with Mr. Weberg, the choir teacher, about it. And next thing I knew, I was able to get those days off. And she shouldn't have had to fight that hard, but I'm really, really, really glad she did. I'm glad someone did. Every single Jewish kid deserves to have somebody fight for them. And it's not just schools that do stuff like this. The rental community that I currently live in frequently schedules community days and barbecues and socials and whatnot on Shabbat. And I've already tried asking them not to do so and explaining to them why, that their Jewish tenants deserve to be able to get in on those festivities as well. But so far, I haven't gotten a response, and I would be surprised if I ended up getting one at all. A lot of the time, non-Jews don't take anti-Semitism seriously at all. And I think one really definite example of that I've lived in my own life is when I was still on TikTok. I was on TikTok from about 2021 until a couple of months after October 7th. And all I gotta say is TikTok is a toxic hotbed of anti-Semitism. I remember how Jewish creators used to report that blatantly anti-Semitic shit there all the time. It would almost always come down as no violation or no harassment when the Jewish creator would release a video themselves calling out anti-Semitism. That would be the video that would get taken down for bullying and harassment. And it's complete bullshit. I don't know any other way to put it. And the message I have for you is you should be proud to be Jewish. And if you're not Jewish, I would advise you to learn about Judaism from Jewish sources. Don't trust anything with Yeshua in the name because it's probably some type of messianic bullshit. I have a whole complicated set of feelings about messianics. If you want me to do a video about that, maybe I will, maybe not. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked, please leave a comment and a like and let me know what you thought.